Enterprise architecture is value. What value you are getting from this project? And that's what people ask for. How many here the product has asked you, what's the business value of doing this problem? What's the value you're bringing in? Why are you doing this? If you have these kind of problems, how do you fix that? Through AI. We'll be discussing that today. And Elon Musk comes to you and say that, hey, I want to disrupt the whole market. I'm bringing up a flying car, and you are my CIO to solve this puzzle for yourself. If that challenge is given to you, what would you do? You accept that challenge? Are you ready to accept that challenge? Say yes. Yeah. That's what happened. My friend actually accepted his challenge. The first day he went into the room, he said that, you know what, the car industry, the whole industry is going on. I don't want this industry. Forget about this whole industry thing. I want a button. It's like, literally my friend asked him, what button? He said that, I want a button of checkout. Checkout cars. So that's what he did. So that's what is called as disruption in the market. So anybody know about this guy? Captain? Yeah. Who's this guy? Spoke? Yeah, Spoke. So why is he really cool? He's able to have a sixth sense, just like, spouses, so they have like 6, 7, 8, all senses are there. Yeah. So they know where we are and what we are thinking also sometimes it becomes like, it's really good. So that means that, do you think which one is enterprise architecture? Between these two. Is this enterprise architecture? What do you think? Is this enterprise architecture? Right here. What do you think? Yes, no. No, yes, yes. So if you see this one, like this guy only thinks about what's happening next. So we think this is the enterprise architecture. Probably not. Which is enterprise architecture here? Can you look at this image? You see these two coaches? The yellow one, these two guys, one is the front end and like one is yellow coach. These two coaches are there. They are telling what to do. And that's what we need to think as an architect, to look at what my vision looks like. Where am I going? Now, when I look at this diagram here, I say that, enterprise architecture, when I'm trying to create here, I want to make sure that my B2B account, the B2C account, you're trying to do B2C or B2B. B2B means someone else is selling your product or service, yes? And that's what you're trying to do. You have a sales department, customer service department, finance departments, ERP department, you have service also. Some problem happens, you have to fix that. Everybody has to deal with this, yes? And where does AI fits in all these? What do you guys think? What do you think? Everywhere you can think here. So what can I do? Today, we will discuss SDR agent, sales development agent. That means this agent is automatically doing the work without you talking to that person. Like, it's just like an employee is working for yourself. You think about, you can have 30,000 employees working for you just by doing this. So SDR agent. We'll also talk about service agent. You can also talk about assistive agent. We will also talk about multiple different varieties of these agents and see how the industry is changing because of it. And in every area of the life, we'll be discussing that in more detail. So what does that mean? We are going to put a lens, increase our visibility to get the clarity, to understand the chess moves. Now, this is what happened. I had discussions like, I used to take pride in winning, with my daughter. Now she came from college, said, Dad, let's play the game. And now she knew more than me. She was able to predict what am I going to do. So she beat me like in 2-3 times. It's like, she's too good. So that's what happens. You need to be able to know the 3 or 4 moves down the road. That's enterprise architecture. And why? You want to find the gold. Gold is the dollar. Where are you getting the money from? You have the money to spend. Where to spend the money is very important. And that's where I spend most of my time in AI right now. Entrenched in AI, probably working on 10 agents at the same time. External agents or internal agents. So that's what my day in life looks like for all the Fortune 500 companies. So that's what I do. So when we look at the business technology strategy for us, what does that mean? You want innovation? You want products to be out really fast? Now, this is where you anticipate the failures. Failures are bound to come. You're going to have failures. Anticipate the failures. That's number one. Once you anticipate the failures and understand your goal is to get the KPIs. What are the KPIs? What are the KPIs for service? Anyone? KPIs. Yeah. Yeah. What are the service KPIs? Average handle time, CSAT score, cash flow. Those are important things. So we need to know as an architect, what are those KPIs? How can I have lead, conversion ratio, lead conversion ratio? I converted this lead into an opportunity. Those are the KPIs we need to know. Once we know those KPIs, and then what are the business stakeholders really missing? The business stakeholders are not even there. They don't even know what to do and what decisions to make. As an architect, as an enterprise architect, you have to give choices. It's not like for kids. If you ask the kid, what do you want from this mall? What are they going to say? I want this, I want this, I want this. Now, if you ask the same thing, say, do you want chocolate, or do you want buns? Now you know that, okay, I want a cake or this. You're giving only two choices. That's what I do. I may give maximum 3 choices, but I know where I'm leaning towards. And that's what the enterprise architecture does. So what does that mean? The major issue is, what do I focus on? This is what happens with everybody here. Yes? You don't know. At least nobody tells me what to do. That's one thing. I have to create. So this is what happens. People think that, hey, you have to work on this story. But as an architect, you need to think that what to focus on. What is most important for me at any given time? Where is the business value coming from? And this is the most important problem. Alignment, lack of business alignment. In AI, we need to be aligned on the business strategy. What is my business strategy looks like? And then when I'm doing a communication also, there is a big communication gap. You've seen you communicate something to somebody and then they communicate it completely wrong. It was implemented actually. They gave the demo looked good, but when it went in production, everything failed. And that's what happens with the communication. There's always a resistance for change. What do I do in this world of fast-moving AI world? Guess how much time does it take for an agent to be created nowadays? Guess. Time for production. Give me the timeline for a production for any agent. Anyone? Huh? How much? 2 weeks in production? Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's very good if you are able to do that. It's anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. You are right. You are absolutely right. It's not 4 months. It's not 3 months. So we have concept to reality in three or 4 weeks. It's in production. So that is what's happening now. So you need to know the technique and you need to worry about the outcome. Outcome is that my elbow does not break. That's number one. We want to make sure this does not break. So this is a technique. And then these bricks breaks. That's the main thing. And of course, we need to do the governance of it, flexible. And now when I try to meet with the business, technology meet the business. This is virtual. We need to meet that, what they want to do. That's what enterprise architecture is. In reality, 90% people, 10% architecture. It's really true. We think that enterprise architecture is technical jargon to do stuff. No, it's actually fixing the problem. Organization no longer want the enterprise architect to practice the focus on the standards. How many here have standard committees? That's not there anymore. That used to be the case. So we need to work on developing these new billion-dollar companies, billion-dollar ideas. How do we do that? In this AI world, that's what we're going to discuss today. Okay. So what does that mean? We need to create innovation. Innovative products are coming up. And when the products are coming up across organization, you have to collaborate to do that. That means you meet with the business, understand the business requirements, and then come up with solutions for themselves. That means you are providing a visionary support as a coaching. You're becoming a coach to really solve this puzzle. How does AI RAG, is being used in the strategy? So we start with an application. So we are starting with an application. At the tip of the iceberg is all the application. Developers are always good in doing the application. What does that means? Now think about it. You are a service engineer. You are an engineer. Your job is to answer the questions. Yeah. And then you are a service engineer for a resort, a resort. Yeah. And then if somebody wants to book a ticket, you should be able to book a ticket for your event which is going on. That is all done in the application layer. Okay. Then we are going to the data layer, where I'm getting the data from. Am I getting this data from database? Am I getting this data from NoSQL database? Am I getting this data from a storage database? So it can be a Snowflake. It's getting from Snowflake. We need to find out that data also. And that's where the data layer is there, which is helpful in understanding how the data is getting cleaned up and used. Infrastructure optimization also you need to do. That means you want to make sure that accuracy of content is important. Where is the data located? And you should be able to accurately use that data. Apply the foundational model. ChatGPT is one of the foundational models. Gemini is another foundational model. You can create your own model also there. And you have a cloud platform like in AWS, Bedrock you can use there, and then hardware processing also you can do. Why hardware is coming? Because this is where like the NVIDIA is coming in, because they are providing us one server which can do more things in less amount of time. Yeah. So what does that mean? It means that, let's take a look at this. So this is the scalability.ai. Let's take a look at this one. So what's happening is, what kind of applications are coming up now? If you think about this, when the applications are coming up, you can have stable assistant. You can have a stable assistant who's coming in, and when I'm trying to do a chat, create certain values for me, now it is able to create images based on it. So that means these images are all coming up on the fly. That means with the text, you're getting better images out of it. Yeah. So you're changing one, and then you're trying to use another one. That's exactly what you're trying to do here. So that means when you're logging in, you can try this thing out on your own. Let me log in with this. So in this one, we are trying to log in to stability.ai. Now in the stability.ai, what we can do is we can generate the images. Based on the images, text is generating the image. Now because the text is generating the image becomes easier to generate and then work on. So you can create virtual reality to really be able to do that. Okay. So you can generate different images. Same thing is true with Artisan. So you can have an Artisan studio. You can have a stable audio, video qualities also can be there. So what does that mean? This is the prompt. This is the prompt which is generating. So it's generating this particular prompt. So based on the prompt, what it is doing is it's able to find out based on the prompt the usage of that particular data. So that's what you're getting out of this. So what does that means? You are able to use this data. So let's take a look at our understanding on this one more in detail. So you have to excuse me. You have to put the voice. I have already put it in. It's already there. You have to do it on your side. That's why it was not showing up. Are you good? Okay. No, not this one. The input. Okay, I'm going to remove this. Every company. Okay. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Okay. It was Okay, let's start it one more time. Every company has the jobs to be done, the resources available. Now, what's happening is, I'm going to talk about this in a second. Sales agent will do the lead management. That means it will automatically generate the lead for yourself. After it generates the lead, it will send an email to the customer. After it send the email to the customer, customer will be responding to that email that, hey, I have this question. It will get that question, ground the data using the knowledge base, and send them the answer and ask for scheduling the meeting with the sales rep. So all those things are possible in the sales agent itself. Before the sales agent is coming in, it is also, hey, how about the person did not even respond? You send the email out to them, they did not respond. What can you do? Follow up of that email. All those things will be done by who? This agent. Yeah. Same thing is true with the coaching. You can have a coaching agent. Now, because this coaching agent is there, it will be role playing as if the customer is asking questions to you and you're answering those questions and you're preparing for your call. That is also very much possible. Same thing is true with healthcare agent, commerce agent, security agent, and service agent. All these agents are coming up. And each of course helps companies build AI agents that work together with humans to drive customer success. Like an AI service agent that deflects incoming support cases by responding intuitively in conversation. Now, this AI service agent, let's talk about this for a second. I want to share with you. So what I'm going to do is, I want to share with you this agent now. Yeah, this one. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at somewhere else. So this is the agent which is there, which is Carol Resort agent. This resort agent is automatically calling. So I'm going to just say, hey, can you let me know about the exploration? It's saying that give me your username and password. I'll authenticate you. After that, how can I assist you with my account? Can you let me know about the cave exploration? So I'm able to ask them the question for the cave exploration. Now what it is doing is it's able to find out what activities I can do. And then say, do you want to book this activity? Now at this point of time, you're making an API call. You're actually making a REST API call behind the scene. That REST API call is going in and retrieving the data and then saying that, hey, at 5 p.m., this is available for you. Do you want to book it? Now the booking is automatically done by the agent, and then agent is able to provide the details for yourself. What else can you help with? So I can say, what else can you help with? Now this agent will be able to help me out with that particular agent. Now CS agent again joined, and now it's able to, what all things you can help. So it is able to now go in and conversationally I'm able to work with this agent, So this is the customer making a call and be able to do that. So I'm a customer support issue, so I can actually resolve the customer support issue. Yes. My iPhone is not working. Now, what did I do just now? I did my iPhone is not working. So what it is saying is, I'm sorry. It's saying that I'm sorry. I'm sorry, to help you with iPhone is not my forte. Could you please provide me more information on this? Sorry to hear that. So that is where it's able to do service for that particular iPhone in this case. Okay. So what does that mean? So we can provide the service routines just by doing this perspective. All right. So let's take a look at it. So now
customer inquiries that chatbot never could. The AI sales development agent that proactively works leads by contacting.
now we are trying to make a call to them. That's exactly what I was talking about here. These are all independent agents. So why I'm talking about this is which industry you guys are in? Anyone? Healthcare industry? Anyone in healthcare? Yeah? Healthcare industry? Yeah. So you can use a similar thing for the healthcare industry. What agents can you create for the healthcare industry? You have to think in those terms. How many here in retail industry? Yeah. So retail is the example which I'm showing right now, where you are making a call to sell more products for yourself. Yeah. How many here for financial industry? Yeah. So how are you going to use this in financial industry? Huh? Opening an account. Yeah. You can say, hey, I want to get these details. And then, say, hey, we have a 7.8% interest rate, only for some amount of time. Now you want to get more money coming to you, and then you can open the account using this perspective also.
Customers
That's exactly what we are doing here. Now I'm able to schedule the meeting also using this without any human intervention. Now this is the sales coach agent I'm talking about, where actually an agent is actually talking. One side is the agent, this is not a real customer, and they're asking questions and role playing and then doing that. While doing that, because I'm working with an opportunity, I know which product this opportunity belongs to. What can I do? I can train the customer that, hey, this is the knowledge retriever coming from there. Hey, by the way, prepare for this customer for these things as a recommendation. So you can add those recommendations as one more aspect before you go and talk to the customer. So you are fully prepared, you see, and you can do that very easily using this. So in order to do that, let me share with you one more thing. So I have one more sample. Sales coach sample is there. So when I'm looking at a sales coach example, let me see here. Yeah, we'll come back to the sales coach in a second.
That attends calls with your sales reps and provides helpful real-time tips and a tip sheet handler. Each of these standard agents becomes part of your existing workflows because the Customer 360 is where apps and...
Now, why I'm talking about this is because now the data needs to be grounded. Gold is what? Data.
Because if you could describe it, Agent Force could do it by taking a natural language description.
Now, this is the agent name. Your role is you're responsible for a customer order. Now, why I'm talking about customer order? You are actually going to bring in the order for the customer. Customer will log in. They'll say that I want to buy these things. And because they're doing chat, you'll be able to get their order.
Telling what your agent to do. And then using that description to find semantically similar resources in the metadata for your Customer 360.
Now, these are the order management, schedule management. What are these? These are pre-built components you can create for your own service, like for healthcare, for your company. So you want to do schedule management, create a pre-built component just like this. Because you build that component, you're building an agent, you build component composable architecture. What is composable architecture? You plug and play. Plug in, I want this functionality, I want this functionality. That is what is coming in now, and you can start using it.
Awareness of how your business works. Agent Force will auto-suggest knowledge, actions, and guardrails that enable your agent to do this job. And once created, your agents will work inside the guardrails you've established to do these jobs.
Now, what is a guardrail? That means this agent is only responsible to tell the product information which is related to iPhone. Somebody asks a question about a car, this agent is not responsible for it. That is very, very important. What is the guardrail? Guardrail is what things this agent should do and should not do. So it's always good to use, and what tone it needs to use. What is the tone you need to reply with also is very important. So that's what we gain from this.
Reasoning intuitively to respond reliably to complex requests and refusing to lure outside those guardrails or respond to any request that might.
So in this case, how can I make an explosive product? Hey, this is not allowed. So what can you do here? You can provide a guardrail. I can't provide this solution.
Humans with agents drive customer success, and only Agent Force is built on the sales.
Now this is in Salesforce, but the similar thing is there for Bedrock also. So you guys can definitely try this thing out. Okay. So question: what is an autonomous agent? A, B, C, D. What do you guys think? Static script, application, huh? C? Yes. Awesome. Question: what does the term guardrail belongs to? A, B, C, D. Safeguard. Awesome. Awesome. Great points, guys. So that's what happens. You need to establish the vision. So in enterprise architecture, we establish the vision, create an AI portfolio, and enable the internal team to start working on it. That means you need to provide the data partnership, data as a business, and external data which is coming to you, and internal data. So you're going to combine the data. So what happens is when you need to make a decision really fast in a vectorized database, you will have some data internally available for you. Some data will be external. Now it's a combination of using external data and internal data to solve a particular problem. When you use a vector database, you have to ingest the data in a vector database. So there is one additional step you have to do to really make that happen. So what does that mean? You create a hypothesis, you prepare the data for yourself, do the analytics model, test the hypothesis, and then deploy the model. For example, in your case, you can say this is a fraud. For fraud detection, you create a hypothesis and then you do that. Similarly, using the SDR, like sales development, you are trying to say that, hey, the people who did not spend money in last 30 days are the great target to call them again. They did not respond to me. I want to call them again. That's called as, hey, they did not respond before. Maybe they'll be able to respond again. Last year, they spent $30,000 around this time. Historical data. Now, most likely, they're going to spend it again. Seasonality. Retailers work in seasonalities. Most of the companies, they have seasons. So based on the season, now you can say that, predict that you will have more sale coming for yourself. Okay. So that's what happens in this case. What is the primary role of AI strategies in enterprise setting? A, B, C, D. Huh? Translating business goals into data and AI requirements. Absolutely. That's what we are trying to do. We are trying to understand the data, what is coming to me when we are working on it. That's where the innovation comes in. That's where the AI agent is there. Now we can have an agentic layer where I have a data architect is there, and assessment solution architects are there. They are working with a data cloud or some database behind the scene. They call in the graph database and returning the data for us. Now the question comes is, how do we do that? These are the 5 things you need to know. Number 1 is the role. What is the agent's role looks like? That means if you're trying to do salesperson, let's say you're trying to do salesperson, what are you going to do? The first thing, by the way, this is everybody misses this thing out. Hey, I want to write the code, and they start writing the code. You need to talk to your best salesperson, the best salesperson, to find out how they work. Yes? What are their roles? What all things they do? And then those are the things they do. We call them as jobs to be done. So you find out what jobs they do since morning till night, from your best salesperson. Why? Because we are trying to bring in a junior salesperson. Okay. We are trying to bring in a junior, service person initially till the time they become, senior over time. So that's what we do. We find out this information. Where is the data coming from? Trusted data. Where is the data coming from? Is it when you work in your job, are you getting the data from Salesforce, or are you getting from ERP system or some other system? When you're trying to do that, then you bring that data in and then use that system. Now comes the actions. Now, this is something which we all miss out on. Now, what happens? What task you need to perform? What task you need to perform for these jobs? For example, when I want to perform a job, that means I want to make sure that I make a call to somebody. When do I determine when I need to make a call? This is very important. By the way, this is the most important thing. People don't put the actions on. So that means you're trying to do jobs to be done. Why, anybody, can you tell me why I'm describing jobs to be done? What that has to do with the agents? Hmm?
Dealing with automation of the
Automation of the work. Yeah.
with the help of the
With the help of agents. Yeah. So we are finding out what jobs you senior agent do and what jobs they can do to help them out in this case. And you need to automate that. That's the reason the actions comes in play. And then comes the guardrail that what can and cannot do. And what channels, that means web channel, mobile channel, WhatsApp channel, Slack channel. So you can have multiple channels. You can make a call to text. Messaging can also be there in this one. So you're trying to build the autonomous booking agent. I talked about booking agent just a few minutes ago. You're building this booking agent for yourself. Now, when you build this agent, you are able to now process this data, bring the data to the data cloud in the vector database, which is a structured data and unstructured data. Now, some people say that, hey, you know what? Can anybody tell me vector database? What do you use vector database for? Anybody here? Store embedding. But can you give me an example of an embedding which you're storing? Contract files, like PDF files are there. You're storing there. Yes. What else are you doing? Anyone? Semantic searches you are trying to do. Basically, it's a long text files are there. You want to search those files, and that's what you're using it for. Somebody asks a question, you want to get that answer for them. Yeah, that's what you're using it for. But do you know what? That's not the only thing vector database do. There is another part which is called as structured data. Structured data is also canonical data model. I call it canonical data model because sales order. What is sales order? Anyone? Is a structured data. Can you put structured data also in a vector database? Yes. And what happened? People completely miss out that one. Hey, I'm going to use vector database for non-structured database. That's probably not the best usage of the data. Does that make sense? So what do you need to do? You need to use structured and unstructured data both, and then build the model for yourself. And then when you build this model, what you're trying to do is, when you're building this model, you have to strategically think of a solution which you're trying to build with. That means what are the KPIs attached to it? What do you mean by KPI, Rohit? That means that now we are coming in as an AI, look at a process, say that, can I reduce the MTTD, mean time to detect? From an AI, predict this is a failure. Predict there will be a failure coming. Yes. Now, why I'm talking about this is you need to relate this to the business value, response time, or customer satisfaction lead time. So once we do that, that is very, very useful. What is MTTV? Anyone?
No.
Mean time to vulnerability, to detect that vulnerability. What is cost per transaction? Per transaction, how much is the cost of your transaction? Can you reduce the cost per transaction through AI? That is very, very key, which is very important for you to understand. And that's where the technical debts are there. When you remove the technical debt, the customer satisfaction will improve. When you remove the production support issues, top 10 production support issues, you remove them, cash flow will improve right away. Yeah. So that's the way we do that refinement of the data using our prediction model. So now what did we talk about today? We talked about a lot of good things. Number one, we started with our perspective saying that, hey, we need to define the future. How do I build the trust? The first thing is we need to build a trust with the model which we are trying to use. In order to build the trust, we need to use something called an artificial intelligence management framework, where we are saying that we should not do any harm to the people, organization, and ecosystem. When we are trying to do that, we need to avoid doing it. That means we need to make sure that we take these into account. When you are building your system, you have to build this system to take into account. That means from the application context, you need to monitor and plan for the application. From the data import, collect the data, and have it ready for the AI model to use. From AI model perspective, validate and build the data model and what tasks to perform for that data model. That's what we gain from here. Okay. That means we are trying to build this model, which is a governance model for measuring the system. Now, people say that, hey, we need to do shift left. Yes, everybody have seen shift left. What is shift left? Anyone? Huh? Testing is done early. But really speaking, can you do that in AI? It's not possible to do that in AI. So what AI does, yeah? Exactly. So there is a feedback loop is coming in the AI. It improves over time. Now in Salesforce, we did that. When the Salesforce service agent came along, it was just added initially. And then if it is able to solve the problem, it solved the problem. Otherwise, it used to escalate it to the humans. Now that 20% within 3 to 6 months, around 4 months or so, 20% became 80% resolved by the agent itself. How? Because it's able to see how it was resolved, how you resolve that issue and be able to solve that person. So that's what's happening. So what happens is now your development is very fast. Somebody said here 2 weeks. That's true. But testing becomes 4 to 6 weeks. So it's the other way around. Testing takes more time than this one. Another thing is the prompt. When you're creating these prompts, the most important thing is that your prompts will change even if in production. So you need to have a pre-prod environment ready to go so that, because if some complaint comes, you should be able to fix that. Because if there is a hallucination happening, we need to fix that hallucination. That's the reason there is something called a human at the helm, HAT is used. That means generative AI is there. Now, you can use autonomous agent, no problem. But if there is a sensitive area is there, in that case, you need to use what? You need to use human in the middle. Why human in the middle? Because let's say you're sending an email out, SDR agent, let's say sales development agent I'm using. It's sending an email out. Before sending the email out, give 1 hour of time for the agent, the service actual human to see whether the email looks good or not. Yeah. Isn't that a good thing? To get the confidence on the email before you send it out. Yeah. So that is what is called as HAT, where human in the middle. Initially, nobody would want like autonomous agent to do everything for me, and sometimes it hallucinates. That's also not good. So you have to put human in the middle so that the confidence improves for yourself. Make sense? So that's what happens here. So when the stakes are high, you have to do that. And that's very important. Like, when your source is unknown, you have to keep on training the pre-prod data. You have to do these activities. When generated output is meant to be impersonate, all those areas, you have to make sure that you are having a human in the middle, initially, at least, till the time you're able to solve the puzzle. Now, you may ask a question from enterprise architecture perspective. What you're trying to do, whenever there is a prompt coming in, you ground the data for the prompt for the company data. Why are we doing this? When I ground the data, it means that dynamic grounding you have to support. That means anybody has done email templates? Yeah? Yeah, you have done the variables in the email template. Yeah? What are you doing? You're grounding the data with the data which is coming from there. Then what you're trying to do is you're doing data masking. Data masking. Why are you doing data masking? Anyone? PII data. Don't send the PII data to LLMs. So you mask the data, you do the prompt defense. That means you are supposed to only do these things and then you send it out. Zero retention policy comes back again. Toxicity detection is happening. You're detecting the problems which are coming in. Now, can an LLM send you some bad things also? Is it possible? Yeah. You have to detect those things while the data is coming in and demask the data and then do the audit trail and then use it. That's the cycle which we go through whenever we are trying to work with an LLM. Okay. Let's take a look at this in actual example. Let me see here. Okay, so this is one example which I have got here. So this is a coaching example. Okay, so this coaching example, I'm having a sales manager user dot first name. So input is input for me. Input parameter is the user of this company, oil refinery generators. Okay, for this I know this is the user. For this opportunity with opportunity details, I want to do role play. I want to see how I did for that, and I put in the transcript here. Thank you for your time and keeping for this email. I'm glad I'm talking to you, and then there's a substantial discount I can do for solving your puzzle. Now what I'm doing is, when I send this data out, before I send this data, I need to ground this data, mask the data, and then I need to send this data to the LLM. So what I'm doing now, I'm calling in the LLM. In this case, GPT 4.0 I'm calling right now. This GPT 4.0 is now saying that this is the deal summary. It's returning me the deal summary here, where it's saying the negotiation stage. What's the overall impression? You successfully confirmed the key decision makers. What are the key strengths? What are your areas of improvement? You could have been more proactive in addressing the customer's request. What are the next steps you need to do? Can you add product recommendations? There's one more section here. By all means, I can add one more section here, product recommendation, right here. Right here. I can add that here, right here. All those things are very much possible for us to do. So what does that mean, Rohit? Why I'm doing this here is, okay. So I did this thing here. Now I can ground this data and then get the values for myself. Save and return. It will also add product recommendation for me. So why this is important is, now it's going to get back the values for us. So this is the key when we are trying to work on our solution. So what does that mean? The principle of practice is responsible, accountable, transparent, empowering. So that means work with human experts. So why do you need to work with human experts as an enterprise architect? I said that to you. Yes. Whatever agent you're trying to create, healthcare agent or service agent or some other agent, who is the best in that? Talk to them. Say that you will become my agent manager. Make them the agent managers. They are responsible to make sure that they are able to work through it. Educate them. Invite customer feedback. Hey, how was my feedback looks like? Based on that feedback, can you improve the ranking algorithm? That's what we do here. And strive for the model which you're trying to work on. So what does that mean? Request is going out. When the request is going out, can I also get the vector search from here, from the data, from structured and unstructured data? I can get that, and then I'll send this thing out and then retrieve the data. And I can build my agent based on that agent which I build. Now I get this prompt template where I'm trying to ground the data with the knowledge retriever coming for me. These are the relevant articles I'm trying to bring in for the question the person is asking. Simple. That's exactly what we are doing here. Why are we doing that? Because we want to solve the customer's problems faster without any human intervention. That's the main thing here in this case. We do the dynamic grounding. After that, we do the semantic search. We are able to do the search and then find out that, hey, this is the article coming to me. And we did the data masking. Credit card information, nobody needs that. Nobody needs credit card information. So you mask the data and then you must not address any content or generate answer that don't have data or basis on. So these are called as guardrails. As part of our design, this is very important. You should have guardrails and tone of your solution. Those are the two things which are important. These are the journey which is when we are going in, and zero retention policy, and then this is the return coming back for us from our side. Then we do the toxicity detection. We say toxicity detection, that means nothing is coming with the violence or sexual or profanity or hate or physical. So those things we want to avoid coming from LLM. That's what we do here, and protect ourselves. And then get the feedback. Is it accurate or not? Based on this feedback, we will improve our LLM model. The next is audit. That means service reply has been sent out to the customer. Is it good feedback or a bad feedback? Did it solve the problem or not? Now, this itself will improve your return value, ROI, because next time it will be more relevant coming to you. What does that mean? It means that currently this is the answer. If you have a newer model coming out, then that will become the better model. That means relevant and recent values are coming. Relevant values and recent values are coming to you, and then you're returning these values to yourself. Yes. Uh-huh. You can give wrong feedback, no problem, but that will only change the ranking slightly. So it's not going to, so that's called a data poisoning also. Sometimes it's called a data poisoning also. So you need to find out if somebody's poisoning your data. So you need to safeguard from that also. But if one customer is saying something, it does not matter. It will be just reducing the ranking little bit. So what's happening behind the scene? It's creating chunks. So you have a big document is there. For that document, it's creating 20 chunks. For each chunk, you're now retrieving that chunk, whatever the relevant chunk is coming to you, and then you're ranking those chunks. And then you're sending the reply back to the customer. Now it's up to you to direct your code to consider relevancy and the feedback from that customer. So yeah, this could be a problem. People do that, like, poisoning of the data is one problem which is always there, And then that is where the generative AI comes in play. So generative AI, so now we're going to talk about different ways we are using the data in this case. So this is called a single agents. Single agent means that a customer is there. I created a SDR agent. It's going to do only the SDR work and then return back for me. I created, inventory agent, logistic agents. So what are we going to do? We're going to talk to the logistic person and find out and be able to use that. That's called as monarchic agents. Now, monarchic agents are doing something like this. You have the source, you load the data, you transform the data, you embed it, store it, and then you retrieve it. It's always done it in a pipe, just like a pipe. Linux have a pipe. Just like that, you have instructions, you do this thing, then you do this thing, then you do this thing. That is part of the agent you're trying to work with. Now, you could also have collaborative agents. What does collaborative agent means? Customer is trying to make a call. When it's trying to make a call, it's going to call to frontline service agent. Based on the data coming to me, I would be either going to logistic agent because the product is getting delivered. Logistic is going to do that, or inventory specialist because whether the inventory is there or not. Now, this is called as collaborative agents. Now, one thing to remember in these agents is always make sure there is no circular loop. What do you mean by circular loop? Is it possible the frontline agent is going to logistic agent is again coming back to frontline agent? Is it possible? It is possible, and you need to avoid it. By something called as directed acyclic graph. So what is that? Directed acyclic graph. So what that means is that when you start from one node, let's say you're starting from here. Let me put it in a different color here. When you're starting from one node here, you're always going in single direction. There is no loop coming back from here. Something like this. There's no loop like this. If there is a loop, it causes more problems. You're going to consume more credits. So you want to avoid consuming more credits for your solution. Make sense? So that's one thing to understand. So people try to create orchestrators, and this is also an orchestrator agent is there, but make sure there is no loops. If there is a loop, then it's a problem you want to avoid, initially. Now, what's happening is that, see this DAG here? Node 1 is coming to the conditional edge. You either go here, here, and here. Now, it is only going in one direction. There's no loop coming from here to here. So that means this is the pipe afterward. This is the pipe afterwards. Make sense? So that is what we achieve in this one. And ensembled is saying that, hey, orchestrated agent is there. Now this is being sent to orchestrated agent, and it will decide where to send. Where to send. Do you want to send to here? You want to send to here? Do you want to send to here? Orchestrated agent is really doing this work for yourself. When orchestrated agent is doing that, what is it going to do? It's going to decide which agent is the best agent to fix this problem. Yes? And then basically it's able to call that particular agent. So you think about this as if you're trying to build a hierarchy of agents, hierarchical agent. It's a perfect example for that. For example, you have an agent initially to find out, do you want to do sales? Do you want to do the sales, or you want to do the service? If you want to do the sales, then you can go and build the sales model. Hey, I want to book my tickets, or I want to find out what time this hotel is open, this resort is open. I can find out both of them in this case. One is going to one agent, another is going to another agent. So that is very much possible in this case. So SDR agent, for example, take a look at this one. Engage the prospects. So what we are trying to do is we are engaging with the prospects, qualifying the lead, nudging the lead, answering questions. When I'm answering questions, what am I doing? I'm going in to retrieve the knowledge from PDF files and answering the questions, handling objections which are coming in, and booking a meeting and meet the customer and then sell the product. Now what happens? 80% of the sales people, what do? They spend time in qualifying the lead, yes, sending the emails, qualifying the lead, nudging the emails, hey, somebody respond or not. All those things are gone. They are now actually talking to the customer who's qualified and they're ready to go. They're ready to purchase from us. And that is the beauty about SDR model, which we can use in our case. So what does that mean? When we are trying to build the solution, so first we need to qualify the lead. Qualify the lead means, hey, I want to call them. See, this is another thing which is important. When do you want to make a call to them? You don't want to make a call to them at 10 p.m. at night. Not a good idea. And then the other problem comes in here that you want to go global. When you want to go global, 10 a.m. Eastern time is not IST time. Now you need to support global support for multi-language, multi-time zones support. Now I'm telling you the problems now. What happens here? Now what happens when you're trying to send an email out? When you're sending an email out, if you stop sending the emails on Saturday, Sunday, what happens now? What happens? Do you know? Let's say you're sending out 5,000 emails per day. You all of a sudden stop sending for the weekends. What happens? Huh? What is it?
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, that could be one problem, but Google will be having problems. What happens? Google says that, you can't see if you go and do it from your email, you start sending 2,000 emails at the same time. What happened? It will say it's a spam. Yes. Now, if you have to go to 2,000 emails, you have to start small. First, you're going to send 50 emails per day, then 100 emails per day. You can't increase right away. So once you have increased the email, keep that capacity. Send fake emails. I don't care. How do you do that? But that's what you need to do to really solve for this problem. And when to send is also is very, very important. Now, why are you trying to do that? You're automating all these processes. That's what the whole purpose of agentic model is, to automate the process. Not only automate the process, provide the checklist. So, Rohit, what do you mean by checklist? You need to make sure data is clean coming in. So somebody asks a question like, hey, what are the checklists which are coming in? What I need to do? What are the goals you're trying to do? You have to define what is your use case. For this use case, what are the features you are trying to work with? For that particular feature, what are the jobs to be done? for each job who will get the permission to do certain things. So for example, you have an SDR agent, you have a sales coach agent, some other agent is there. What access do they have from your system? What things they can perform? What action do they have? All those things are determined using this, and then you review the data requirements. Now you want to find out whether the data is coming from outside the system or within the system. Are you making an API call? Can you make an API call in an agent? Yeah, you can make an API call. By the way, I did the booking with that agent. I was actually making an API call to do the booking. It's an external system. PayPal is doing doing all the payment and other things like that. I'm just reserving for now. So that happens outside the system. Or do I need to bring that data in a vector database so I can use it? Those are the questions we need to answer. So that's where the data modeling also comes in play. Now you may ask a question, Rohit, what are you going to do in the data modeling? What are we going to do is, so let's take a look at this example. So human in the loop is coming in. Now we are trying to generate the prompts. We want to make sure the prompts are generated and we are able to use those prompts, use the external agent and then use it. Now, apart from that, what can you do is an agent is able to make an action. When the action is made, the prompt template is grounding the data, calling the customer data from here and retrieving the data from the retriever from the vector database, augmenting the prompt and sending it to the user. This is the architecture for how we solve for our problems. So what are the different types of agents are there? Autonomous agent, SDR, sales coach, collaboration agents, and those are autonomous agents. Assistive agents. Assistive agents are those, your salesperson is logged in, they want to know what things to do, how to do it. That's called as assistive agents. You can also build assistive agents to make their life easier. Because data, you have the data, which is the king, you want to find out. Now I'm giving you one example here. Sales rep follow-up is coming in, embedded checkout is there. So you went in and you went to the website, there's the embedded checkout is there. Because that embedded checkout is there, now what are you going to do? You create a campaign of all the people from yesterday who abandoned their carts. And then they visited that cart, we give them 10% discount, they visited the cart, they purchased the order, and then they visited that. These are all the activities which are performed. Now, based on these activities, what can you do? You can find out at any given time whether the sentiment is positive or negative. Is the trend going up? Is the trend going down? Why that is important? Anyone? Recommendations is one thing, but if the customer is feeling very happy, you're going to cross-sell them more products. Yes? If they're not feeling happy, you're not going to sell them right now. Don't sell them product. They're not happy. So you have to know what their sentiments are. You get it from this. So that is all data you can analyze and you harmonize that data, and then you put the sentiment analysis, insights of the data you can do. Now, one more thing is there. This is a sales order, by the way. You have an account with an opportunity. When we sell that opportunity, it becomes a sales order for that opportunity. Now, sales order for all practical purposes is what? It's a structured data. Yes? Can you still put the structured data with unstructured data in the vector database? Yes. And that is what we do. Sales order for the information around the pending sales orders. Can I put it in the vector database to say which orders are pending? So I need to work on which specific attributes are there, how the delivery is going on. All those things are possible using this. Okay. So what did we discuss today? Today, our main goal was Enterprise Architect 4.0. What is happening in the enterprise architecture is the AI-driven models are coming up. We knew that hey, autonomous agents is one where we are trying to find out the role, what things they do, jobs to be done. Those jobs, we automate those jobs. Because we automate those jobs, Now we have an autonomous agent running without anybody's talking to them. They're going to fix that issue. Once they do that, now what will happen is that assistive agents are also coming in and solving that puzzle. Tomorrow morning, okay, if you are interested in this talk, tomorrow morning might be really good for you to also join me again. If you want me to join, in that I'll talk about for next 3 years what's coming in the enterprise architecture. So I would not be discussing what I discussed here, but we'll be discussing what's coming in the next 3 years in the AI land to make, like, well, how our jobs will be transformed. Let's put it this way. Whatever we are doing, probably not doing the same thing. I also don't know what things are coming in, but that will give you a guidance on that side. So connect with me on LinkedIn if you have any questions. I'm around here. Hope you enjoy the session, and I'll see you somewhere else. Thank you.